A Tale by Robert Burns. When Chapman bullies leave the street and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk began to take the gate, whilst we sit boozing at the nappy, getting through and unget happy, we think not of the lang Scot smiles, the mosses, watters, slaps and styles, that lie between us in our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, jeering her brows like jeering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth plant honest Tam o' Shanter, as he for e'er the night did canter, all there where ne'er a tune surpasses of honest men and bonny lasses. O Tam had to been sae wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice. She told the wheel was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blether, that frae November till October, ye market day thou wasna sober. That I come milder with the miller, thou sat as long as thou had siller. The every knave was caught a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring through on. At the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank the Captain Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned and doon, or catched with warlocks in the muck by Alloway's old haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gas me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened sage advices the husband for the wife despises. But to a tale. Ye market night, Tana get planted and correct, fast by an old bleeze in fine where even swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient, trusty, drouthy crony. Tam loved him like a very brother. They'd been food for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and all the ale was growing better. The landlady in Tam grew gracious, with secret favours sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without made wear and whistle. Tam didn't mind the storm or whistle. Care, mad to see a man so happy, he entombed himself among the nappy. As bees to him they laid your treasure, the minutes wind away with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious. Of all the ales of life, victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. He sees a flower, it's born the shed. Or like the snow fall in the river, a moment right, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flit, ere you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, they vanish in amid the storm. No man can tether time, nor tide. Your approaches, Tam mun ride. That urinate black earth the key stain, that dreary hour Tam mounts his beastin', and second night he takes the road in, as ne'er bear sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as it blown its last, the rattling shivers rose on the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand, the deil had business on his hand. Well mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better mother lifted boy, Tam skelped on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst cooer an old Scotch sonnet, whilst glory round the prudent careless boat was catching unawares. Kit Alloway was drawing nigh, with tasted bullets nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, wherein the snore of Chapman smelled. They passed the bucks in Meikle Stain, where Duncan Charlie bricks Nick Bain, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters found the murdered bairn, and near the thorn upon the well, where Mumble's mother hanged herself. Before him, doon pours all his floods. The Dublin storm roars through the woods. The lightnings flash frae pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when, glimmering through the groaning trees, Kit Alloway seemed in a blaze. Through Oot&aboot the beams were glancing, and loud resounded myth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn. The tippenny, we fear the evil, what Oot&aboot will face the devil. The swat say reigned in Tammy's model, fair play ye canna deals a boddle. But Maggie stood right sair astonished, till, by the healing hand admonished, she ventured forward on the lift. And wow, Tam saw an unca sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae cutty but brand new fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, spies and mules, put life and metal in their heels. A winnet bunker in the east there sang all Nick, in shape a beast, a tousy type, black, grim and large, to hear the music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and gat them skrill, till roof and rafters all did dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses that shone the deed in their last dresses, and by some devil's cantic sleight, each in its cold hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the hairy table of murderous bairns and gibberdairns. Twa sprang lang wee unchristened bairns. A thief, new cutted for a rape, wi' his last gasp as gap did gape. 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted. A gatter, which a babe had strangled, a knife, a fairest throated mangle, whom his ain son the life beleft, the grey hairs that stacked to the heft, with mair of horrible and awful, which even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious, the piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew, the reeled, they set, they crossed, they clicked, till Ike a Carlin swat and reeked, and kissed the duddies to the whack, and linked at it in her sack. The Tam would they been cleans up, plump and strapping in their teens. Their sacks, instead of creasy flannin, been snow white 1700 linen. They breaks of mine, my only pair, that once were flush of good blue hair, I would have given them off my hubbies for you blinking the bonny bubbies. But whether bell dams old and droll, red woody hags would speen a foe, louping and flinging in a crummock, it's a wonder it when they turn my stomach. The Tam came, what was wit through glory, there was ye wench and Molly, that night enlisted in a corps, lang after kenned and carried shore, for many a beast to beat she shot, and perished many a bonny boat, and shook baith meikle corn and beer, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark of paisley ham, where a lassie she had worn, and multitude though, solely scanty, it was her best, and she was vanity. Ah, little kent thou, reverend granny, that sack she got for her wee nanny with 12 pound Scots was all her riches, would ever have graced a dance of witches. But here my muse her ringman cure, sick flights are far beyond her poor, and to sing how nanny flap and flying, a simple jade she was and strang, and how Tam stood like yin bewitched, and thought his very ain enriched, even Satan glowered and fidged through fame and hotched, and blew wi' might and main. To first ye keep a sign another Tam, tint his reasons altogether, and rose out, well done, cutty sark! And in an instant, all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees buzz out with angry flight, when plumbing and herds assail their night, as open bushes mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud. So Maggie runs, the witches follow, with many an entrance screech and hollow. Ah Tam, thou get thy fern, in hell they'll roast you like a hern. In vain thy Kate, thy waits thy coming, Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now, do thy speedy utmost, Megan, win the keys to me the brig, for there, at the end thy tail may toss, a running stream the dare may cross. But ere the tea-stained Chic could make, the fiend a tail she had to shake, for Nanny, far before the rest, had upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious echo, but little was she Maggie's mettle. Ye spring brought off her master hail, but left behind her ain grey tail. The Carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, while this tale of truth shall read, out man and mother's son, take heed. Whene'er to drink ye are inclined, of cutty sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o'er dear. Remember Tam o' Shanter's mare. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.